we're focusing this morning on the activities of NAFDAC. We're joined by Mrs. Yetunde Oni, who is the Acting Director General of NAFDAC. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
So, I mean, you know, there will always be those who ask questions about what exactly does NAFDAC do these days, especially when they get into the markets and see some food and beverages that they think, oh no, this shouldn't be there. What's going on with NAFDAC?
Good morning once again, and let me, on behalf of the staff and management of NAFDAC, thank Channels for having us come on board. Before going into the question you just asked, let me just comment Channels that over the years you have displayed high level of professionalism that is of enviable standard, and I want to commend you for that and urge you to keep it up. As you're all aware, NAFDAC is the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, and by the Act setting us up, we are supposed to control and regulate the manufacture, the importation, the distribution, the sale and use of certain group of products collectively known as regulated products. And these are food, drugs, chemicals, medical devices, cosmetics, packaged drinks, including water, as well as detergents. And all of this bother on health. No wonder in every home, NAFDAC is a household name. And so what are we doing really to ensure that we maintain the quality, the safety, the efficacy, the wholesomeness of all of these products? I have a framework that we can use to discuss all of the things that we are doing in NAFDAC. First, we'll talk about the staff, we'll talk about our processes. Because in any establishment, for you to thrive, your workforce is very key. You must be mindful of their capacity building in terms of training. You must be mindful of their welfare. You must be mindful of a whole lot of things. And then what processes do we have in place? And because these products are regulated and registered by NAFDAC, they go through a lot of processes, either for import or for export. So we have in place the e-clearance system for products that are either coming in through our ports or land borders, or going out of the system. That's the e-clearance. And we're working in conjunction with the customs to ensure that the e-clearance system is functional.
That doesn't require your officials to be present at the ports, does that?
We are at the ports. It requires us being at the ports. But we're not at the ports fully now because there was a policy of government in the past that asked NAFDAC to be out of the ports. But at times, when the goods that come in, customs invites us over. We're still...
Okay, what do you look out for with this e-clearance?
With the e-clearance, it helps you to determine the status of that product. It helps you to know whether that product that is coming in has all the checklist of NAFDAC registration number. It has for instance, for the volume of products coming from China, because we've been faced with a lot of situations where the products are substandard. Now we established a working relationship with some quality analysts in China, who would ahead of time, in respect of those products coming into Nigeria that are regulated by NAFDAC, have gone ahead to carry out analysis of the products and ensure that those products coming in have the clean report of inspection and analysis, which is the first step of action to take place before we carry out our regulatory functions in Nigeria, still on those products.
The Nigeria bit, after you do that of the one outside the shores of this country, how does that also work?
Thank you very much. The Nigerian bit of NAFDAC regulated products passes through a lot of processes. It entails inspection, it entails laboratory analysis, where depending on the product that we want to register or depending on the product we're regulating, let us say it's a food commodity, we have the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate that will go to that facility and sample the product. Before the sample is product, a lot of other activities will have taken place to ensure that the company has good manufacturing practice in place, and of course that the factory is designed in a way that conforms with good manufacturing practice. So we go there, take the products, and send to the lab. The Laboratory Services Directorate is the backbone of the agency that pronounces on the quality of the products that we regulate. And so we solely rely and depend on the laboratory. That is the backbone of the agency. And so when the report comes out from the lab, it goes through another phase to the Registration and Regulatory Affairs Directorate. The report is generated from the lab. Having carried out an inspection of that facility, another report is generated. And so the Registration and Regulatory Affairs Directorate puts all of these reports together, plus the dossier, which is the documentation on that factory and on the product. And a series of meetings go on to establish the status of that product. As we speak, my officers are working. I have a meeting at 11 o'clock. And this meeting is called the Final Product Approval Committee, chaired by the CEO of NAFDAC, where products that we are granting marketing authorization, after having fulfilled all righteousness of the quality, of the inspection, of the standard, of everything, of the claim, even the labeling on that particular product, we'll take a look at it, a critical look at it, even the name that you are giving to that product, so that there's no sound alike, there's no look alike.
So NAFDAC relies like 100% on this Chinese company and their Chinese company to ensure that products coming in here meet up with the standards. We rely supervisory input from here?
Yes, we rely. There's a supervisory input from here. I'll tell you what. We rely on them as the first line of action. First line of action, because you're going to shift. First line of action. And before bringing that quality control analyst on board, NAFDAC has a checklist of what we do. We get our inspectors to go to China and carry out due diligence. So
how do we hear, because I see people talking about the fact that they still have this impression that the products that come from there into the country are in a large extent substandard and fake.
We have that issue. It will appear like China has two sets of rules. The rules that apply to their products in their country are so stringent. And these are part of the issues that we raised up at the just concluded regional committee meeting, the 66th WHO Afro Regional Committee meeting that ended in Ethiopia. And that when products are going out of China, it's like they don't pay that much attention on it. And that was the comment of the Honorable Minister of Health. No wonder NAFDAC saw this as a challenge and decided to begin to work with the quality control analyst in China. And before signing an MOU with the quality control analyst in China, our inspectors will have gone to China to carry out due diligence. At some point it was even said, why don't we establish a lab of our own in NAFDAC? A lab of our own in China, owned by NAFDAC, wherein we'll have our staff in China to carry out that for us. We will get to that stage at some point. It will require some collaboration even with the Foreign Affairs Ministry as to how we can get that done. After all, the Ministry of Information also has staff in foreign countries.